Here we go. How y'all doing? Hopefully you're doing well. Up here trying to make these dang thumbnails for this chess knowledge, chess wisdom, chess understanding content. But what's up? How y'all doing? Yeah. I know I'm just now setting up. I get it. I know. I need to be more prepared as a live streamer. All right. Sue me. But how y'all doing? Hopefully y'all doing well. I know I had to delay it like 15 minutes. It's okay. It's cool. I've seen worse. All right. It was either this or delaying it a little bit more. But I think this is way better. Apple? What do you mean Apple? What does that even mean? All right. Wait a minute. I'm trying to make sure that the camera is correctly. Hey, ask me any chess questions and I'll answer them right now. So that's what y'all can do. Ask me any chess questions. All right. We're going to be going over some games today. Hopefully y'all excited about that. Okay. How do I do the glissando? The glissando? What type of opening are you trying to do? I don't know what opening that is. But anyway, we're going to go over some Garry Kasparov games. All right, just finished the game. Oh, okay, that's cool, Cardu. Okay, let me erase this right quick. This came from like my chess classes I do on Patreon. That's like my last tier. I do chess classes every Tuesday and Thursday, just in case anybody wants to get this chess knowledge, chess with some chess understanding in depth. Let's get the energy up. Come on, let's do it. What's good? How y'all doing, man? We're almost here. We almost got the board set up. Make sure that you like the video. Make sure that you're coming in here with the heat, the fire. Hey there, I'm back. I'm glad that you're back. And all right. Hey, this is H1. We're going to be running it back with another episode talking about chess knowledge, chess wisdom, and chess understanding like always. And today we're going to be going over a few Garry Kasparov games against Boris Spassky. If you know who Boris Spassky was, he was a world champion back in the day in the 1900s until wait a minute. Wrong game. That's wrong introduction. I was going to be going over a Bobby Fischer game. No. Garry Kasparov was a world champion that beat Anatoly Karpov. That's the guy. We went over Boris Spassky games yesterday, so I just had those confused. I'm a little bit dyslexic. Hey, sue me, all right? But we're going to be going over some of those fascinating games. They played a lot of games against each other, and Garry Kasparov actually got off some amazing attacks during that time. So, what do y'all think? Are y'all ready for this? Can y'all figure out the best moves between these two? Give me a consensus. What y'all got? I'm going to sub you. I'm going to sue you for that. You going to sue me? Sue me then. What's good? Okay, let's get into it right quick. So the first game that we got a game, Garry Kasparov against Anatoly Karpov. And in this game, Garry Kasparov was the white pieces and Anatoly Karpov was the black pieces. Let's get started. What do you think Garry Kasparov's first move was in this position? Nah, I'm actually got to keep the grind set. Yeah, play a game and actually figure out the best moves here. What do you think Garry Kasparov did first in this position? And I forgot to set up my fast evaluation whiteboard. You know what I mean? how to evaluate games. Give me your first move while I'm writing out this stuff. What do y'all think he played first? Wyatt Williams. I'm thinking you're correct. Let me double check real quick. If I look through the game, right, the first move that Garry Kasparov actually played was e4, and then Anatoly Karpov played e5, knight f3, attacking the pawn, knight c6, and then we got the move bishop e5. Do y'all know what this opening is called? Do y'all know what this opening is called? What opening is this called on the board while I'm writing out these things? Spanish? Roy Lopez is not the Portuguese opening, but it is the Roy Lopez. So in this Roy Lopez and all the people who's joining right now, make sure that you hit the like button, and not only hit the like button, but make sure that you figure out the best moves in this game by chatting. I'm going to be looking at the chat, making sure that I'm saying the right moves. And if you say the correct move, especially if I ask you a question, I will shout out your name to the entire YouTube world. All right. So after bishop to b5, we got the move a6, which is in the main theory, bishop a4, and then after bishop a4, knight f6, and then we got the move castle kingside. How do y'all feel about the Roy Lopez? I'm going to do a poll right now. How do y'all feel about the Roy Lopez? Do y'all play this all the time, or do y'all not? I'm going to do a poll. Roy Lopez, do you like it or not? Like it or not? Well, like it or hate it? Tell me what y'all think. How do y'all feel about this? Nope. I was about to write down the same type of wording again. Okay, we got pawn structure. What's the last two things? Center control and development. This is how you judge a position very quickly. That's why I'm writing this down. Do I like it or hate it? Hey, I'm a 700 ELO player and I lose. Do you have any advice? And I get so frustrated with my blunders and dumb losses. Do you have any advice for low ELO players like me? Well, if you're still blundering pieces, not seeing exactly what your opponent's next move is, I would definitely look up like the thought process of chess. I did go over it in my podcast, Chess Knowledge with H1, that is on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And keeping that thought process in mind, especially when you get into the middle game, is really important. It's always good to blunder check too. Don't be playing fast games. I would just play rapid for now until you just stop blundering pieces. And then one good tip that you can use is play anti-chess on leechess.org, or if it's on chess.com. Anti-chess is basically you just have to keep track of all captures, and whoever loses all their pieces first wins the game. But anyway, it's my main opening. Yeah, the Roy Lopez is actually a really good opening. It's actually a really good opening. So make sure that you like the video if you're just not coming in here. So after the move bishop to e7, we have by Anatoly Karpov, Garry Kasparov, rook e1. Anatoly Karpov does the move b5, attacking the bishop on a4. After bishop b3, d6, then we have the move c3. After c3, castle kingside, and then we got this move by Garry Kasparov, h4. Wait a minute. Yeah, h3. My bad. After h3, bishop to b7, then we have the infamous move that usually Roy Lopez players play after, I don't know, you got everything set up like h3, etc. d4, because with the Roy Lopez, you want to control the center. And it's a very slow game. It's a more maneuvering game than an open and tactical game. So what is the point of h3? Okay, the point of h3 is preventing, most grandmasters, most title players do not like this bishop going to g4, pinning the knight to the queen. Then you're going to have to figure out how to unpin your pieces, and it just wrecks everything. And that's why most players like to do h3. And not only stops the bishop, but it gives a luft to your king to go to h2. It gives a love to go for your king to go to h2. Well, all right. So after d4, rook to e8, then we have the move by Karpov, not Karpov, but Garry Kasparov. What do you think he did next here? What do you think Garry Kasparov did next here? All right. I'm looking at the chat right now. I'm giving y'all some time. So king h1, d5, not d5. Look, and this is still the opening right now. So we're still trying to develop pieces. Man, y'all are a little bit too close. We're still trying to develop pieces here. Did he move the bishop? 1708 blundered, mate in 2, move 10. Yeah, that's horrible, but it does happen all the time. That's where we got all of our chess traps from. It's from like grandmasters ruining positions like that. That was awkward. What do you think? Oh yeah, it is awkward sometimes. Did he move the bishop? No, he did not move the bishop. So if we were trying to figure out the best move here, we just got to remember something in our position is that we still haven't developed our queenside pieces here. How do you think development goes in the Ruy Lopez? I'm going to ask y'all that question. What move would you say? And then plus two, if you're watching right now, make sure that you chat, because actually, if you figure out the grandmaster's best move, that's going to encourage you to do that in your own games. It's going to help you improve when you look over and understand grandmaster's games in the past. Yeah, I played one of those traps. What about bishop g5? I'm pretty sure bishop g5 probably can be played, but Garry Kasparov went for another move here, which is very common in the Ruy Lopez. I used to play this opening all the time. Let me end the poll right quick. d5, not d5, bishop e3. Well, even though that's playable, well, actually it's not playable, because after bishop e3, maybe you're going to run into something like knight takes on e4. What happens here? Mr. Morningstar, hey, how you doing? And we got the move knight b to d2. What is the purpose of knight b to d2? Well, I'm going to let Garry Kasparov teach us right quick before I tell you. After bishop b to d2, we got the move bishop f8, and then we got Adam being pushed to the a4 square, attacking the b pawn. After a4, Anatoly Karpov he was like, who cares about that pawn? And that's why he did the move h6. After h6, a bishop to c2. I don't know if he's going to... I haven't forgot about the question of the knight going to d2 yet. After bishop c2, e takes on d4. And then we have the move c takes on d4. After c takes on d4, knight to b4. What is our next move by Garry Kasparov? What is our next move here? And I don't know if it's going to happen in this game. I kind of forgot, but usually, let me just explain this. Usually, if you're playing the Ruy Lopez, the knight on the b file goes to d2 to usually go to f1 and to like develop on the e3 or g3 squares, because that knight usually wants to go to the f5 square in the future. But I don't know if that's going to happen in this position, since the position just opened up, the e file opened up, the bishop on b7 is targeting the e pawn. So I don't know what Garry Kasparov is going to be doing in this position. We got Sense in here. Hey man, how you doing? What is the next best move by Garry Kasparov? We got bishop b3. Now that's not the move that he did here though. He didn't do bishop b3. He did not do bishop b3. b3, bishop b3. A lot of people want to do bishop. That's not the move that Garry Kasparov did here. Let's get some other moves, man. Come on, high energy. Let's get the moves. Let's circulate the moves. I don't care even if you put out a bad move in the chat. It does not matter. As long as you're getting your brain working. That's the only thing that I care about. What's another move here? The knight on b4 is attacking the bishop right now. And we do not want to give our opponent the bishop pair advantage. So what other move can we do here? Knight f1? Well, not knight f1 at this position. You are at the right spot. We actually do want to move the bishop on c2. We actually do want to move the bishop on c2. So pawn to e6 now. Well, there's nothing that can go to e6. There's nothing that can go to e6. Oh, wait, e5. So bishop d3 just runs into knight takes on d3. That's not the correct move. There's only two safe squares where that bishop can go. h1, another easy dub. e5, not e5 in this position. That's not what Garry Kasparov did here. What do you think a grandmaster would do? 1600s are so weird. Yeah, they are weird, somewhat. And then we got, what symbol is that? We got the slash in here. Doing the move bishop b1, and that's exactly what Garry Kasparov did here. So after doing the move bishop to b1, then Anatoly Karpov is coming after us doing the move c5. So what are we supposed to do about this? Our opponent is literally attacking us. What would you do after our opponent does the move c5? What would you do? I'm asking you directly. In this position, this is you're the white pieces, you're going against a world champion, and actually going against a world champion contender because you're already world champion. What would you do against him? Be slashing those good moves. I know, exactly. Oh, wait a minute. Where's my sword at? Be slashing. Is that like golf? That's not even slashing. I need to get my swordsman play. What's the next move here? If your opponent does the move c5, now we're going to have to deal with this tension between d4 and c5. We're Garry Kasparov, we're the white pieces. This is still technically good for us, even though I think I would rather play black side in this position. I hate like the pieces being cramped, even if it's equal. Would you take? Okay, actually that's a good thing to think about. I notice our bishops can form an attack on the king's side. Yeah, they can. I'm glad that you noticed that too, Wyatt Williams, because if you're looking at this position, if this opens up, or if we do e5, these bishops can easily attack the king's side. But we're not at that moment yet. We still have to figure out and solve the problems that our opponent has given us, which is this tension. Do we take the pawn on c5 or do we push? Let me make it more simple. Do we take the pawn on c5 or do we push? What do you think Garry Kasparov did here? And if you're watching this right now, we're trying to figure out the best moves of Garry Kasparov, which is a grandmaster, and he was a world champion by this point. And make sure if you're in here, make sure that you like the video. All right, this is a free chess lesson for you that I'm going to be posting streams every single day for you to watch. I think push, take, okay. Push, I think, Mr. Morningstar. Sounds pretty interesting. What else do we got here? Push, take. What else do we got here? Okay, that's all the suggestions. Well, Garry Kasparov, at this moment, you then have knight b3 push. Okay, big brain is in here. So now we got this position, d5, and that's exactly what Garry Kasparov did here. After the move d5, then Anatoly Karpov did the move knight to d2, knight to d7 to maybe go to knight to e5 in the future, which in this position, Garry Kasparov did a really weird rook lift. Which move do you think he did here? He did a really weird move that I don't think that most people would do at this present moment. He did a really weird rook lift. And all the people who's joining, we're going over this game, Garry Kasparov against Anatoly Karpov, and we're trying to figure out the best moves to defeat Anatoly Karpov. And these are grandmaster games that's going to help you in the future. Find the best moves in these chess games. That's the title. Remember that. All right, so what we got here? I'm looking at the moves. I'm looking at the suggestions. I'm trying to get out the way of the board too. We got rook to a3. Skylar Dillian Bennett. That is the correct move. Rook to a3. After rook to a3, we got the move c4. And then after c4, what do you think was played next here? After c4, our opponent kind of opened up a square for us to land a piece on. Every time your opponent does a pawn move, you should always like think about, okay, what squares are they giving us? What squares are they not giving us? What squares are being attacked? Things of that nature. You should always be constantly answering questions when you're playing a chess game, especially if it's a long classical chess game or even a rapid. Just answer the questions very quickly so that you can understand the position fully on your own. Wyatt Williams, you are correct. We got the move knight to d4. Because that's what happens after you do like a pawn push. Because we already know playing chess that pawns cannot go backwards. After knight d4, queen to f6 by our opponent. Then we got the move knight d to f3. After knight d to f3, knight to c5. So we get the d4 square, but our opponent gets the c5 square. It's like a big trade-off. After knight c5, a takes on b5, and then our opponent decides to do this move. A takes on b5. What happens next? What do you think Garry Kasparov did next after they took our pawn back? This is all you. I want to give you this is all you. I want to give you this advantage that you can, you're learning something for free, right? So I want you to try your hardest to figure out the best moves in this Grandmaster game. What move do we do next? I'm looking at the chat right now. What moves do we do next here? We got 13 people watching. Knight to b5. Skylar, you are correct. Knight takes on b5. And I'm up here like swinging this stick around like I'm doing something with it. After knight takes on b5, then what moves do we got here? Knight takes on b5. Rook takes on a3. And then what's the next move here? What's the next move after rook takes on a3? What are we doing? Before the pawn trade, couldn't we just put the bishop on c2 and trap the knight? Before the pawn trade. What pawn trade? Put the bishop on c2. Wait a minute. I don't know exactly what you're talking about. Let me look on this right quick. Before the pawn trade. Which pawn trade? I don't understand that question. Just put the bishop on c2 and trap the if the bishop went to c2, it's not really trapping anything. I don't know what you're trying to trap. That knight on b4 is perfectly fine there. Pawn takes on the okay, so do y'all want to take with the pawn or do you want to take with the knight? Do y'all want to take with the pawn or do you want to take with the knight? Those are the two options here. Pawn takes or knight. Okay, we got two people that are saying pawn. Oh man, I don't know whether I'll take the knight or the pawn. Pawn, side dragon, 38. Hey man, hey, how you doing? side dragon, take with pawn, a knight, knight d4. That's random. Our opponent just took our rook, man. I think knight, then you can take with the pawn. All right, so in this position, actually Garry Kasparov took with the knight. He took with the knight, and he took with the knight because that just, I know taking with the pawn, it would have been attacking the knight, but he wanted to take with the knight to apparently attack the pawn on c4. Because now that c4 is definitely a weakness. After, dang it, the computer went all the way forward. After knight takes on a3, then we got the move by our opponent, bishop to a6. And then we got another weird rook lift. We got another weird rook lift in this position. Take the castle. What other weird rook lift do you think that Garry Kasparov did? E3? Yeah. He did rook to e3 in this position. And we're going to figure out why he did that in this position. And I want y'all to, and this is a game by Garry Kasparov against Anatoly Karpov, and I want y'all to figure out the best moves as I'm going through the game. After rook to e3, rook to b8, then we got what move? And this next move is pretty explosive. Because I'm thinking that Garry Kasparov wanted to put the pressure on his opponent with this next move. What do you think Garry Kasparov did here? C7 with threat in taken there. Rook as an in-between move on the light or pawn. E slash, man, you are doing really good. And then people were saying, okay, if knight takes on c4, bishop takes on c4. So we got to leave those pieces there. But the good thing is that their bishop is stuck on a pawn that's only worth 1 point, even though our knight is stuck on a pawn that's worth 1.2. But it's okay. Our knight is doing better than their bishop. But we got to move e5, threatening the pawn and threatening the queen and opening up the position for our pieces. And that's what we need. It's important to have activity when we're playing chess. If we don't have activity, then we do not have anything. We don't have tactics, we don't have strategy if we don't have good pieces that are placed at quality squares. So after the move e5, we got the move d takes on e5. D takes on e5, knight takes on d5. E5, and then we have the move knight b to d3. What happens next after knight b to d3? Actually, we're going to just continue because he did a small mistake here. Even though in this position, queen c2 was like the best engine move, which isn't practical at all, Garry Kasparov did the move knight to g4, attacking the queen. After knight to g4, queen went to b6, and then after queen b6, what move do you think Garry Kasparov did here? And he always wanted to attack the king for some reason. He always wanted to attack the king somehow, some way. And how do you think he would prepare for that? How do you think he would prepare for that? Pawn e5 to start the pawn break. Yeah, that was a good pawn break to like alleviate some of the closeness or crampedness of our pieces. We still have the bishop advantage. And if we open up the position a lot more, or if black does a mistake, then we're definitely going to be winning and our opponent's position is going to be busted. Knight to h6. Not knight to h6 yet. Not knight to. What's the next move that Garry Kasparov did in this position right here? And this is a game by Garry Kasparov against Anatoly Karpov. Make sure that you like the video if you're coming in here. This is free chess knowledge, chess wisdom, chess understanding. We're always running it back with another episode on this channel. I have over 800 videos that you can watch, a beginner's playlist, an intermediate playlist, a checkmate playlist, a tactics playlist, and I literally go over all the tactics that you need when you're playing chess. Those are all patterns that you need to become a better chess player. Knight to f6, h6 to open up. It wouldn't open up the king though. If you did knight f6, the queen is keeping watch on the 6th rank. That's the only problem. e5, and then +2. There's another problem. You don't have enough pieces built up to make an attack yet, so you have to prepare. You know, just like off a Lion King, be prepared. You know what I mean? How can we be prepared to make an attack? How can we just move all the pieces to the king side just slowly? Let me give you a hint. How can we just, we did a rook lift for a reason. And that's my hint. We did a rook lift for a reason. There's no sacrifices in this position yet. But we still have to play like a grandmaster. We're trying to defend our title. Put yourself in Garry Kasparov's head right now, in his mindset. He doesn't want to lose to Karpov and Anatoly Karpov. He's a nobody. I mean, he wasn't a nobody back then, but he's a nobody. He's beneath Garry Kasparov. He's not going to lose to him. Especially, I don't know which round this is, but they've been playing for too long for him to lose in this position. Dave V, hey, you're new, man. Congrats on that move. Wide Williams, you're good too. Queen f3 was a good try too, but rook g3 first before queen f3. Rook g3 first. What is the purpose of rook g3? Well, now it's kind of getting scary. This rook is on the same file as the king, and now black is going to have to worry about this move all the time. If they're not worrying about that move, then they're definitely going to get checkmated very carelessly. I mean, both of these bishops is on this diagonal. This queen can quickly go to h5 if knight sacrifice on h6. There's patterns forming very slowly that Karpov is going to have to keep track of. And you got to have a big imagination when you're playing chess. After rook g3, we got to move g6 for that reason. What do we play next after g6? What do we play next? Come on, P Money. I want to see some more moves. Back with another dub. Only 19 move elo to go. Dave V, you are correct. Mr. Morningstar, you are correct. After G6, we've got the move Bishop takes on H6. Bishop takes on H6. After Bishop takes on H6, actually, Karpov didn't even take the bishop back in this position, but he did the move Queen takes on B2. He did the move Queen takes on B2. And now in this position, Garry Kasparov is still trying to form an attack on the king side, in which y'all already set this move previously, but this is the move that he played next. Can y'all say it again in the chat? What move did he play next? And for everybody that is watching, if you just missed like the first half of this game, I will be publishing these full streams on my YouTube channel. They'll all be here. They're going to stay here forever. Unless something weird happens. Knight to F6. No, we got to form we can't just do random knight moves, because after knight to F6, queen takes on F6 would be horrible. This queen is taking care of this whole diagonal, this whole H8 to A1 diagonal. We got to watch out for our opponent's forcing moves first before we think about ours. Got to watch out for our opponent's forcing moves first before we think about ours. What are we doing next here? Wyatt Williams, you are correct. Garry Kasparov did the move queen to F3. And now, don't y'all think it's getting a little bit scary? What do y'all think about this position? Which side would you rather play here? Which side are you on? Which side would you rather play? Okay, I'm putting this poll out. Which side would you rather play here? Would you rather play the white side or the black side? And what if I told you after queen F3, this game is completely equal? Like nobody doesn't even have a smidget of an advantage in this position right here. And if I told you that, if you said that I was lying, I wouldn't even be mad. I wouldn't even be mad, but that's how chess engines view the game. But humans are playing this, and if I'm seeing this accurately, if I'm commentating on this back then, I'm not going to think that this is just going to be a random draw. I'm thinking that there has to be a decisive result. And this is another thing that I'm thinking about is that there's 4 pieces on the king side right now. So if Garry Kasparov start getting combinations in this position, Karpov is going to be in some deep trouble. So after the move queen F3, we got knight to D7. Knight to D7, still equal. And then we got the move bishop takes on F8. After bishop takes on F8, king takes on F8. And then we have the move king to H2, avoiding all checks like that queen C1 check. After king H2, rook to B3. Black is trying to keep the activity going. After rook to B3, what do you think Garry Kasparov played next here? What do you think he played next? Matello, hey, how you doing? Hello, fellow gamers. I would pick white because white attacks while kind of keeping a cocoon defense. Yeah, so the king is definitely safer with white. That's all I can say about that. Valid, what happens if queen C1, check, king H2, bishop D6? Well, that bishop on H6 was defending that C1 square, if you remember beforehand. Whatever, dude, I'm going to sleep. Go to sleep then, man. Dang, it's only 9:30. You played in the whole tournament. It's okay, man. Good night. Hello, Matello. Black sludge. White definitely. Okay. I'm getting y'all opinions. What do you think white played next here? What is the next move? All you people who's favoring white, what is the next best move that you would play? If you was Garry Kasparov, you're a world champion, just puff up your chest. Be prideful about what you have. You can only trust in yourself. No question mark moves. You can only believe in yourself. There's nobody else that's going to do moves for you. I'm not going to be, if you're playing in a tournament, I'm not going to be at the desk beside you being like, okay, you got a winning position. All right. All you have to do is just think about the, no, I'm not going to be that person. I'm not going to be there when you're playing chess alone online. So what is the best move in this position? Rook C2. It's 10:50 here in Florida. Dang, man. I need to start streaming a little bit earlier. Does this have something to do with the danger levels? Well, there's no danger levels in this position. And all the people who's here right now, make sure that you're liking the video and make sure that you're chatting, trying to figure out the best move for white. Nobody have set the move yet. Nobody have set the best move in this position. I'm still trying to figure it out. People saying bishop c2, rook c2. Those are not it. Knight h6 to create checkmate threats. Well, knight h6 isn't really doing anything in this position right now. And then plus two, you're going to have to worry about all of black's threats, which they can do like moves like knight e1. You don't know what they're going to do next. What is the best moves here? Knight h6, knight to c4. Knight takes on c4. Well, after, let me get my stick. After knight takes on c4, bishop takes on c4, and I don't see a really good follow-up. And after knight takes on c4, queen can even take on b1 and just forget about the knight. What's the next best move here? d6. What's going on with d6? Oh, just doing pawn d6? No. Like, rook is attacking this knight right here. Rook is indirectly attacking our queen on f3. We got to do concrete moves, forcing moves. What is the move here? We got to do forcing moves. What if d6? Well, I'm going to give y'all 1 more minute. All right. I got a little timer. I bought this on Amazon. Got a little timer here. This costed $9, just to tell y'all. But you got 1 minute. It's a 1 minute sand timer. And then I'm going to tell you the next move. But I'm going to be shouting you out if you say the best move here. Metello, I know you're watching me. This dude's in the private Discord that I have that's in the description down below, and he's messaging me. Knight to f6, knight c2 is a hard, only safe move there. Okay. Well, okay. I'm just gonna let y'all figure it out. Come on, give me some more moves. Give me some more suggestions. Do we gotta move on? Queen a8 check? The queen can't go to a8. Oh, so I'm guessing you're saying after the move d6, you have queen a8 check. Well, this is a very sharp position. So that's why Garry Kasparov in this position decided to do the move. Bishop takes on d3. After bishop takes on d3, c takes on d3. Then we got the move by Garry Kasparov, queen to f4. Which queen to f4 is pretty threatening, right? Because if you think about queen to f4, you got this check on d6, you got this check on h6. I mean, you're forming some things. There's a lot of geometry going on here. And let me just say this, Karpov until this point, and that's why he did the destructive move, queen takes on a3. And after queen takes on a3, his position is busted. But it's up to you to convert this into a win. If you don't figure out the best move right now, you could be losing. You could be losing very easily. What would you do? How can we threaten their king in position? Let's go. I'm not going to give you these next moves because all these moves are just major threats on their king. I want y'all to figure out the next few moves. And these are all tactics, baby. All tactics. Come on. Y'all got this. Stay with me. Queen h6 check. Okay, that's one suggestion. We got knight to e3. We just got random h6 move. We don't got a pawn that can go to h6. A lot of people want to do queen to h6 check. A lot of people want to do queen to h6 check. What if I told you that wasn't the best move? What if I told you that wasn't the best move? I don't know. I don't know after queen h6. There's no exact good moves after queen h6. Knight e5. Come on, let's threaten something. What if I told you that this next move actually threatens mate in one? That's another hint. And just to show everybody, after queen h6, king e8 is just getting out of all the threats, because even after queen h8, we got queen going back to f8, knight going back to f8. That's getting out of all the threats for the black pieces here. Come on, y'all got this. Knight to e5. After knight e5, knight takes on e5. And if we're attacking our opponent's king, we do not want to trade pieces at all. We do not want to trade pieces. And all the people that is here right now, make sure that you like the stream, because this is free chess content. I go over chess knowledge, chess was chess understanding every single day on this YouTube channel. Help me out. Chat, give me your best move. Wyatt Williams, you are correct. And Valid, you are correct. Yep, both of you are correct. We got the move knight to h6. Threatening queen takes on f7, checkmate. And that's why Karpov had to do the move queen to e7, protecting the f7 pawn. And now, what is our next best move? If we're Garry Kasparov, we're the world champion. We're trying to demolish our opponent at this moment. We've been passive all this time to get into this exact position. We've been passive this whole time to get into this exact position. Our opponent finally gave us the opportunity to harp on. I'm trying to end this poll. All right. Okay, rook to e3, not rook to e3. Valid, you are correct. Wyatt Williams, you're correct. We got the move rook takes on g6. Rook takes on g6. Why is this valid? Because the queen is taking control of the f file. The pawn cannot take the rook because the queen would be attacking the king. And you know, in chess, we cannot put our king into check, or that would be an illegal move. So this is called a pin. The queen is pinning the pawn to the king. That's why the next move that was played by Karpov was queen to e5. After queen e5, what are we doing next here? What are we doing next after queen to e5? Before Garry Kasparov, what are we doing next? I'm 1500 ELO, funny enough. Hey, no, you're finding the perfect moves. Keep on going. Keep on going. We got everybody in here. We got Mark. We got Edward. We got Slash. We got the Slash in here. Hey. Skylar up in here. Pawn g3. We got queen f7. What the? Oh, a lot of you. Okay, I'm seeing what y'all thinking. So a lot of you is thinking that queen takes on f7 is checkmate, right? But there's something wrong with this. I'm just gonna have to point this out since everybody just started spamming this. Hey, Corbin. Hey, you was here yesterday. What's good? Okay, why can't queen f7 happen? Wait, the queen is pinned. Yes, hello, fellow gamers. You are correct. The queen was pinned to the king on h2. So that's why the queen could not move in this position. So you're going to have to think about another move. We can't do that. That's an illegal move. Everybody that was spamming queen takes on f7, let's rethink, let's reevaluate, let's reorganize, all right? Our opponent just found a good defensive move. What is our next move to do here? I'm giving y'all, I need to find some red sticky notes, because all y'all that just spammed queen takes on f7, shame on you. That's all you're getting for today. Okay, we got the move by dash or slash. I think it's slash. And then black sludge. We got the move rook to g, checking the king. And after king e7, what is the next move here? What is the next move after king e7? Rook g8, king e7, knight f5. The next move isn't knight f5. Knight f5 wasn't played here. And let me just say this, after knight f5, king f6, and then black is completely winning, weirdly enough. Black is completely winning. Because there's no other checks, there's no other threats. What is the best move here? Metello, I noticed you. A spooky zucchini. Pawn check. Yes, there we go. Pawn check. D6. After the move D6, we got the move. Wait a minute. After the move D6, King E6. What happens next? What happens next after King E6? Wait, is it the pawn on D7? Yeah, the D6 pawn just checked the king, and now the king just moved to E6. Garry Kasparov seen this beforehand, and that's why he went into this variation. Valid, you are correct. We got the move, and Cole Ah, is that Cole Ah? Is that really a reason? We got the move rook to E8, checking the king. After rook to E8, we got the moves. We got the moves here. King to D5. After king to D5, what do you think Garry Kasparov played next here? What do you think Garry Kasparov played next year? Because this is absolutely busted. It's losing for the black pieces. This game isn't over yet. And I'm just figuring out the moves on the computer. So don't worry about me. Not like the chess engine moves, but I'm just making sure that I'm going through each thing, each move, and I'm just giving y'all the most value as possible. Edward, yo, we 26, let's go. Yeah, 26 viewership. Man, hopefully by the end of maybe February, we can get this to like 100 viewership. I don't know. I don't know how long it takes to get popular on YouTube. But anyway, what is the next move here? I told, what? Dude, I'm skipping that. Rook takes on E5, thank you. After rook takes on E5, knight takes on E5. What do you think Garry Kasparov's next move was? Taking with the queen isn't good. Yeah, we don't trade with the queen. Rook takes on E5 because the rook is less powerful than the queen. And then our next move, our follow-up move, is just devastating for Karpov. It's just devastating. What is our next move here? If you use Garry Kasparov, what are you doing here? Knight takes on F7? No, we're not doing knight takes on F7. We're not doing knight takes on F7 here. Even though that is still winning. Garry Kasparov thought of a better move, which I like a lot better. Wyatt Williams, hey, that is a good move. Knight takes on F7. You're thinking queen F5? I don't know about queen F5. We still got to be careful. This D pawn can just promote very easily. Yes, Mark, Edward, Cole, you are all correct. D7. D7, if knight captures, which didn't happen in the game, but if knight captures on D7, what is the best move for white? If knight captures on D7, what is the best move? Do y'all see it? I'm looking to seeing if somebody can see the move. Knight takes, no, not knight takes on F7. There's actually a way better move. Queen A4 attacking the rook and bishop. Queen A4. Well, that is attacking all three pieces, which maybe I'm thinking maybe that is still winning. Yeah, Wyatt Williams. I was looking at the move. Queen takes on F7. And then Scotchpreneur. Queen takes on F7 is the queen didn't want to take on F7. I just did a mouse slip on a manual board. Think about that. Queen takes on F7, threatening the king. The king has the move, and then you just get a free rook, skewering the king and the rook. That's why the knight did not take on D7 right away, and the move rook B8 happened, because if this pawn promotes, then this pawn cannot do anything in this position. And then this is the last move until the end of the game. What move made Anatoly Karpov resign in this position? What move do you think that is? Oh yeah, you can just axe the pawn. Queen F5, take the pawn, fork. That wasn't a fork, that was a skewer, Terrence. What are we taking? Side Dragon 38. That was the last move. Congrats. You figured it out, man. I need to get some like fake money. Hey, one or put a one in the chat if you want me to get like a money gun. That would be dope. Knight takes on f7. And this move made Anatoly Karpov resign. Because think about this. This knight cannot take on f7 or queen will take on b8. And then this on f7, if this knight cannot take, then promoting the pawn is definitely going to be the next option. And this pawn can't even go to d2 because queen takes on d2. And that's why this is a horrible position and you will just have to resign, especially if you're going against the best player in the whole world. So what do y'all think about this? Make sure that you like the video. Subscribe if you haven't did so. I'm going to be streaming daily on YouTube, and we're going to actually, we're not ending yet. We got another game to go through, and it's another Garry Kasparov game. If y'all ready for that. Are you ready for this? Keep the energy up. All right. I'm done dancing. Next game. Do we want to go over another Garry Kasparov Anatoly Karpov game? Yeah, let's go over another Anatoly Karpov game against Garry Kasparov. But we're obviously going to be Garry Kasparov. Let's go over another game. Let me see y'all skills. Can y'all think like a grandmaster? Can y'all do this? We got to go over this game quickly because I gotta get going. Free chess knowledge, free chess wisdom, free chess understanding like always. And if you didn't know, I do have a free Discord that you can join to connect with other chess players. You have daily puzzles and you will definitely increase your chess skills. Being in that Discord, you can ask for questions of like chess problems, things of that nature. So I would join that Discord immediately, right now, while you still have the chance, while I'm setting up the board. And maybe you could be in tournaments that I host. I hosted a tournament on YouTube yesterday, which was pretty fun. If you didn't see that video yet, that's like one of the previous videos of me like playing against viewers. But anyway, let's get started. What is the first move by Garry Kasparov? What did we do? What did we do here? I am gonna get 100% accuracy this time. Okay, Wyatt Williams, let's do it. Edward Stockfish, your friend. I'm happy I found this channel before because I recently came back to chess after a while king break and I was clueless. Hey, I'm glad. Thank you. E4. Yeah, so the first move that Garry Kasparov played was E4. After E4, we got the moves, and I got to go through the opening first because it's kind of weird to ask you like what is the best move in the opening when there's different variations. After E5, we got knight F3, knight F3, knight to C6, and then we're going into the Ruy Lopez again. After bishop B5, A6, bishop to A4, we're going to a repeat of this opening. After bishop A4, knight F6, kingside castle by Garry Kasparov. You probably can't see the board. Bishop to E7, and after bishop to E7, we got the moves B5 again, bishop B3, D6, and then after the move D6, we got C3, and then castle kingside. After castle kingside, we got the move H3, again, preventing the move bishop to G4, bishop B7, and what was the next move here? What are we doing now? What are we doing now in this position? Metello, are you a GM? Is that what you're asking? Nope, I am not a GM. My rating is 1800 USCF, and my online chess rating is around 2100. I've been teaching for over a decade now, so I have a lot of experience teaching elderly ones I taught kindergartens how to play chess. It's crazy enough. I got 2 kids myself that I'm going to teach how to play chess. Yeah, Morningstar, you are correct. We got the move next, D4, controlling the center. After the move D4, then we have, get out of my way. Then we have the move Rook E8, and then what is next here? What would y'all play? Never mind. Shaking in the. What are you? Striking in the center with D4. Yeah, striking in the center with D4 because you got to control the center. If you control the center, then you control the game. And all grandmasters already have a conception of that principle already. That's why they always fight in the center and centralize their pieces in the center. You get the most space there. Why not become a GM? Because I got 2 kids and a wife. Rook E4. Where are the white pieces here? D5. So we got the cousin of Phil Josh. Not pawn D5. We're still developing pieces here. So remember, just like in the last game, we're still trying to develop these these queenside pieces. We can't just be going threatening things without having our full army out in the open. Because in chess, activity is king. Activity is king in chess. If you're not fighting with your whole army and you're fighting with half of them, then you're going to lose, especially if you're facing a tough opponent. So what is the next move here? Bishop G5, not Bishop G5. It's actually the same move beforehand that most people should remember. Mark, you are correct. We got the move Knight B to D2. Knight B to D2. Actually, did I miss a... Wait a minute. Did I miss a move? I'm thinking I missed a move. Ah, snap. I did. So after Bishop E... Dang it. Okay, I'm just going to go back because I missed Rook E1. Actually, I'm not going to go back. After Bishop E7, I missed a move. Rook E1 happened. And then now Knight B to D2. I can't just go back. I missed a move. Forgive me. Oh, I didn't notice the time. Pretty late. I got school tomorrow. Hey, if you got school tomorrow, go to sleep. Because I want you to do well in school. Hey, catch the stream tomorrow. Okay, so after Knight B to D2, then we got the move. Rook E1. Then we got the move Bishop. We got the move Bishop to F8. After Bishop to F8, A4, and then our opponent does the move H6. After H6, and then we do the move finally Bishop C2, then E takes on D4, and now this is when the middle game starts. How are we dealing with this pawn being taken here? How are we dealing with this pawn being taken here? Dang, it's 6 a.m. for me. Everybody's in here from different countries. Let's get it. It's going to be a late night. What's the best chess book you would recommend to an intermediate player? Where's my books at? So if you're already intermediate, then you should just get the book. This book is pretty awesome. This book is pretty awesome. Just get this book. It tells you all chess principles that you need to know in chess. All the chess principles. This book is awesome. And then I have another book that's called The Art of Attack. Let me just show you these 2 more books just to get off subject. Y'all should be seeing the best move in this position. What are you doing after E takes on D4? These 2 books is really good if you're trying to get better at chess. All right. But let's get back into this game. Take back. What are we taking back with? What are we taking back to the... Okay. Who just said it? Mark, you just said the move. C takes on D4. After C takes on D4, then we have the moves by our opponent. Knight to B4 again. Bishop to B1. Then C5. Kind of like a recreation of the last position. After C5, what are we doing next here? After C5, what are we doing next here? And it seems very similar to the last position, but it's going to change in just a minute because they play. So grandmasters play positions and they like change up the variation that they're going into just slightly. So it's the exact same move that we played in the last game. And do anybody remember? Sorry for distracting everyone. Really appreciate the recommendations. Yeah, don't mention it. Karpov studied this game and is coming back for revenge. Probably, and hopefully he doesn't come back to hopefully he doesn't come back for revenge to me showing this game again because this is ugly. This is an ugly game. Didn't really see the game. E5, not E5 in this position. We got to deal with this tension on this D4 square to C5 square. How can we deal with this tension between these pawns here? If we're playing at our best here, what would you do? Would you take the pawn on C5 or would you push up? Would you take the pawn on C5 or would you push the pawn? Knight to B3, we got D5. Mr. Morningstar, you are correct. And Mark, you are correct too. Got school, but I will beat my friends tomorrow in chess. Let's go, Corbin, intellectual. Beat your friends, beat all of your friends at school. So after the move D5, we're going into this variation. Again, a knight back to D7, rook A3, and then it's going to deviate at this present moment with F5. Beforehand, in the last game, you might remember the move C4, but now we're playing the move F5. After F5, what do you think Kasparov did next here? And let me just give you a hint, because it's going to be hard to find this move. He formed a battery somewhere along a file. He formed a battery. What are we doing next here? I'm looking at the chat right now. I'm giving you the opportunity to do your best. Rook to E3. Which rook? There's two rooks that can go to E3. What is a battery? A battery is when you have two pieces trying to control either one file, one rank, or one diagonal. So for example, if you put a bishop and a queen on the same diagonal, that would be a battery on that specific diagonal. The same thing with a queen and rook on one file, that is forming a battery on that file. Not really good of notation. Queen C2, not Queen C2. Yeah, so Queen C2 would be forming a battery, but knight takes on C2 would be very disappointing. Not really good at notating. The A rook. Okay, so the next move that was played here was rook to E3. Rook A to E3. After rook A to E3, we got the moves knight to F6, and then Garry Kasparov did the move knight to H2, trying to reroute that knight to a better square or trying to push up that F3 pawn. So after knight to H2, king to H8, then we have the move. What do we have here? We got B3. After B3, protecting that A pawn, then we have B takes on A4, B takes on A4, C4 pawn moves up again. After the C4 pawn moves up again, what are we doing next here? And this position is winning for white, just to let everybody know. After that C push, it's not really, the computer isn't really liking that. Make sure that you like the video. Yeah, you was right, man. Yeah, hey, that's good. Keep on saying the moves out. You don't know if you're right or not unless you just put out the move. I don't know who you are, and you don't know who I am. I mean, I guess you can look at my face and you know what I look like, but I don't even know who you are, so don't be embarrassed. You don't know anybody in the chat either. Who cares if you're a beginner? Just learn how to play chess. Knight takes on C4. Knight takes on C4. Well, let me see this position right quick. If knight takes on C4, then F takes on E4. And it's just a different position. But Garry Kasparov did a different move. Because after knight takes on C4, F takes on E4, and now this is like it's a different game, of course. And bishop can take on E4, but then this pawn is going to drop. And yeah, that's just going to be a different tactical game. Garry Kasparov made it easy. He looked at one of his pieces and he was thinking, okay, that piece is garbage at this present moment, so let me put that piece on a better square. It's up to you to find a piece that Garry Kasparov put on a better square. What piece do you think he put on a better square? A rook to B. There's not a rook that can go to B2. E takes on F5. No, not that move. Throw the game and quit chess. Metello, stop. Why do you want to throw the game? We're not resign. We don't resign on this channel. We're not resigners, man. We never resign. Why should we resign? Queen, bishop C3. The bishop can't go to C3. Bishop A3. I'm gonna head out. I'll be back next stream. Okay, B Beach Boy. Oh, see you later. You're trapped knight of bishop A3. Well, everybody that's saying bishop A3, you are partially correct, but it's not that bishop going. I mean, it's not going to A3. That bishop isn't going to A3. But everybody who's picking that bishop, you are correct. That bishop is looking lame, but it goes to B2. And I know what y'all thinking. Bishop A3 attacking a knight, but Garry Kasparov seen this bishop being more useful on this diagonal than the A3 diagonal. This A1 to HA diagonal is definitely special since it's X-raying the king. And there's a lot of tactics that can happen once you see the X-ray. After bishop to B2, then we have the move F takes on E4. If you're Garry Kasparov in this position, what would you do next? You ever been to Florida? Nope. Bishop B2, E takes on F5. What are we doing next after F takes on E4? Wyatt Williams, back in the old days, I resigned every time I made my first blunder. Come on. Yeah, you can't do that, man. That's not how you improve. I did not improve that much. Yeah, when you resign, because this is the thing. You can't avoid horrible positions. So you have to learn how to defend them. And once you learn how to defend them, that's when the real skill is going to come in, especially if you're a beginner. You should still be trying to do the best moves in a losing situation. Whenever the bishop is attacking the whole diagonal, it reminds me of a Sicilian dragon. Yeah, pretty much. Brandon James, knight takes on E4. Yep, that is the next move here. After knight takes on E4, then we got the move knight F to D5. And now, if we're trying to attack our opponent, what should we do here? We did a rook lift for a reason, and it's basically the exact same move in the last Garry Kasparov game that we just looked at. What are we doing here? Finally, I got one right. Oh, it's not. Have you been trying this whole time? Hey, no, that was actually a good move. Clay 100, welcome back. Welcome back to the stream. Let's get to it. How about a brilliant move work? What? Bishop takes on E4. Knight takes pawn. Mark, you remember, rook to G3. And once you see a move like rook G3, you start realizing something. And when you're a chess player, you got to have a good imagination, right? You got these bishops aiming at the king. You got this bishop on B2, and you got this bishop on B1 to H7. You got this knight that can hop into these squares anytime that it wants to because it's in the center. I know it can't hop into these squares right now, but in the future, it might be a good idea for this knight to be here. This knight can hop to G4 and sacrifice itself on H6 in the future. This rook is taking control of the whole G file. This queen can hurry up to go to H5 to attack the king in a hurry. If we had two moves right now, queen H5, queen takes on H6 would be very threatening to the king right now. So with all that being said here, Karpov is in trouble, especially after the move rook to G3. After rook G3, rook to E6, and he already knew that he had to defend that pawn on H6, which I don't know how he got into this position again. Garry Kasparov made a mistake. He should have played knight to F3, but he played the move knight to G4. After knight to G4, which is definitely a human move, like the knight F3 move, who would play that? You just came from knight F3. Knight G4, queen E8, and yes, this was a big blunder by Karpov. This was a huge blunder. What would you do next here? And this is when the attack starts. This is when the attack starts. What is the best move in this position? If you're Garrett Kasparov, if you're the world champion, you're trying to defend and you want to pummel your opponent with awesome moves. This is going almost like the last game. Yeah, pretty much. He lost the exact same way, just in a different fashion. Imagine that. I would never play this opening ever again if I lost like this twice. How do I move my pieces? What do you mean? What do you mean? How do you move your pieces? Just say the move in the chat. Say the move in the chat. We're going by algebraic notation here. Bishop takes on G7. I'm liking how you're thinking, but we do not want to be too rash, and we want to think about the right sacrifice. Bishop takes on G7. I don't think is working in this position, but another move is definitely working, and I want y'all to figure it out. Why not just push all pawns? Why not? You can do that in your own game, but we're trying to become better chess players. Knight to F6. Not knight to F6 in this position. There's a lot of squares attacking the F6 square. Knight takes on D6? That's a pretty random move to be playing in this position. That's a pretty random move. Mark, Mark, you've been getting all these moves. Can anybody else say the move? Can anybody else say the move but Mark? It is white to move in this position. Mark already set the move. I want a whole row. I want a whole line of moves. Sack the queen. You don't always have to sack the queen, man. Leave the queen alone. Leave the queen alone. What are we doing here? So we got one person that already set the move. What is the next person? What is the next move here? Come on. I'm looking at all of you. Got this sword here. Yeah. Knight H6. Metello, you are correct. Marcus Anderson, you're correct too. Knight takes on H6. I know y'all probably wondering what happens on knight takes on H6 and I want to just say, how comfortable do y'all think y'all are with this sacrifice? How comfortable do you think you are with this sacrifice? What the shenanigans? I'm trying to look at the chat. How comfortable do y'all think y'all are? Or just stop putting us on the spot. I'm putting y'all on the spot. Wait, why can't rook take on the knight? The pawn is pinned, so the pawn can't take. Now, the move that Karpov played in this position was C3. But what happens after rook takes on H6? And yep, now I'm putting you on the spot. What happens after rook takes on H6? And this is pretty ugly that Garrett Kasparov seeing. This is really ugly. This is really ugly. Knight, wait a minute. It involves moving the knight, obviously. Knight. A lot of people saying moving the knight somewhere. I do not like it at all. I feel really uncomfortable and my request okay, calm down. Knight takes on D6 is the move here. This is what Garrett Kasparov saying. Knight takes on D6. Best move to play, Queen H5. And I'm just gonna do the move for you because I don't want to put you on the spot again. But Garrett Kasparov had to see the move rook to G5. And then if queen takes on D1, then we get into this awesome position, knight to F7 check, because that's the whole purpose of rook to G5, to distract the queen to do knight to F7. King G8, knight takes on H6, king H8, rook takes on D1, and this is completely busted for the black pieces. And notice this, the G pawn cannot capture on h6 because of this bishop on b2 still lightening up that whole diagonal. What do y'all think about that? Crazy position. I just want to just leave that on the board until y'all realize how crazy this position is and how tactical Garry Kasparov is when it comes to calculating. Okay, now let's go back. Let's go back to the original position, and that's why Karpov didn't do the move, because it was too risky, and he had better plans to do. He had better plans than to risk his life for that knight. So that's why in this position, after knight captures on h6, he did the move c3 because that bishop was too strong on the b2 diagonal. It is very crazy. You might need to send a mental hospital. Wait a minute. Knight d6. Yeah, you got the correct move. Knight take on d6. After c3, and I'm just going to do this next move. Wait a minute. This rook was on g3. My bad. Knight to f5. After knight to f5, then we have the move c takes on b2. Why did Garry Kasparov sacrifice that bishop? What's the purpose? What next move would y'all do here? If you're all world champion, what would y'all do here? We just sacrifice a bishop to do what? What's the follow-up? Oh, okay. Thank you. I'm gonna go now because it's late. Okay, man. See you later. Hello, fellow gamers. We got this amazing game by Garry Kasparov. Make sure if you're just now joining to hit the like button so that we can popularize chess to the world. We're just gonna keep on going. Who be live streaming chess like this? Let's bring chess back to YouTube and leave it, it's always on Twitch. Like, I'm bringing chess back to TikTok, and I'm trying to bring chess back to YouTube. I mean, it's always been on YouTube, but you know what I mean. We're going to stream chess on YouTube. Joel Williams, we got knight d6, queen d4, not sure what, queen h4. You're close, Side Dragon. You are close. Knight takes on d6. Not knight takes on d6. Well, I guess which knight are you talking about? But yeah, we're not taking that pawn on d6. We just sacrificed the bishop. h1, I did it. What you do? You're 1600? Good job, man. And Cardu is 1600. Let's go. Thank you for bringing it back on YouTube. I like it better on YouTube. Hey, let's get it. And not queen h5. That's not the move that Garry Kasparov did. He did a move close to that. Phil Josh, yeah. Queen g4. Queen g4. After queen g4, right? Which is definitely very threatening. Then we have the move by Karpov, bishop to c8. And then why did the queen move to g4? Why did the queen move to g4? What's the purpose? The final game, the man attacked my queen with a rook, but I found a pawn mate. Hey, that's the most disrespectful mate ever, is the pawn mates. I am 963. I am 983. Threatening mate. What is the next move? What is the follow-up after queen g4? What would y'all do here? Put pressure on g7. Knight takes on g7. I'm 350. It doesn't matter what you are. It doesn't matter what your rating is. It doesn't even, who cares? Add an attacking piece. I want to see some specific moves in this position. Oh, okay. Side Dragon 30. Yeah, I didn't even see your move. You're saying queen h5. And you are partially right. Because the move is queen to h4. If queen h5, queen takes on h5. But queen h4, we're attacking the king. After queen h4, we have the move rook to h6. To defend, of course. After rook to h6, what are we doing next? I resign. It's so bright. Do I need to turn the brightness down? Is that good enough? The more you play chess, the more you will improve. I used to be around 300 and I never gave up and I kept playing. Now I am at 860. That's how you do it. I'm trying to turn the brightness down a little. I don't know why it's that bright up in here. Maybe it's just the angle. What is the next move now? Yeah, knight takes on h6, attacking the rook. After knight takes on h6, then we have the move, and this is a Garry Kasparov game against Anatoly Karpov and Roy Lopez. If you want to see the stream, this full stream, then it will be published very soon. You can go back into it. After pawn takes on h6, then we have the move king to h2. After king to h2, queen e5. And then we have the move knight to g5, threatening f7 fork. After knight to g5, queen f6. And then what do you think Garry Kasparov did next here? What do you think Garry Kasparov did next here? And this game, what if I told you that this game is probably going to end in the next 8 moves? What if I told you that? Would y'all think I'm insane? I played 6 months and stayed below 400. You got to play and you got to be serious about it, Metello. You got to play games, study, and do chess puzzles. You can't just do just one instead of the other. You can't just play games and then pretend like you're getting better. You got to actually study like different concepts, go through like a course, things of that nature. He did the rook. What rook move? Why couldn't the rook be taken? What rook move? Yeah, rook e8 was played by Mark and Terrence. Rook e8. After rook e8, then we have the move bishop to f5. After bishop to f5, he did. Now Garry Kasparov did miss checkmate in 6, but he is still winning. I've got too much work to do to study. Yeah, it's fine if you don't have the time. Just play like, I don't know. Just play for fun. Just have it a recreation. Why didn't he take the rook when it was on e1? What move are y'all talking about here? Why didn't he take the rook when it was on e1? Oh, I see what move y'all talking about here. I see what move y'all talking about. Okay, let's go back. Okay. Okay, y'all talked about this position. Let's go back here. So after knight to g5, why didn't black just take the rook on e1? What is the best move here if black would have took the rook on e1? What is the best move? Bro, I'm late to chess class. When did you start streaming? Like 2 hours ago. What if the rook took on what if the rook took on e1? Yeah. Knight f7 is mate. Do y'all see that? Knight f7 is just mate. Let me explain. This bishop on b1 is covering this h7 square, and this king cannot go on the g file because of this rook that's covering the g file, the whole g file. And so all that needed to be done was this king to be attacked 1 time, which after knight f7, that happened, and that's why it is checkmate. You can't just capture any piece against a world champion. That's why The move that was played by Anatoly Karpov was queen to f6. After queen to f6, we have the move. Wait a minute. Okay, let's continue on with the game. Queen to f6, rook e8, bishop to f5. Then we have the move queen takes on h6. Being attacked by this queen and this bishop. But this bishop cannot move since the rook is pinning that bishop. After queen takes on h6, queen takes on h6. What is the next best move here? What are we doing next? We're Garry Kasparov. We're like the best player in the world, and we're trying to demolish our opponent. Knight f7. Good job, Phil Josh. Knight to f7. Forking the king and the queen. After knight f7, king h7. What happens next? What happens next after knight to f7? What are people saying? Where did you get that board? Just got here. By the way, love the channel. Keep it up. Thank you, Ernest. I appreciate it. Yo, knight f7, knight f7. Hey, what's up, Elliot? You kind of late, man. I just made you a moderator yesterday. You're already late. Come on, man. Be on time. That's messed up. What's good, Elliot? Yeah, side Dragon 38. You are correct. Bishop takes on f5. Not taking the queen, but bishop takes on f5. We got something that's more important than the queen, an attack on the king. If we got an attack on the king, then we should be able to finish this in like the next like 5 moves, in which that's exactly what happens. Because after bishop takes on f5, the only move is queen g6. And what do y'all do here? What do y'all do after queen g6? H1, I have school and work again, but I will do anything for the chess grind. Let's go. I get you. Bishop takes on g6, right. After bishop takes on g6, king to g7, what happens next? After bishop g6, king g7, what happens next? Bishop takes on g6. What are we doing here? A lot of people want to do bishop h5 and checking the king again. But we can make this very simple. Just look at all the pieces that you're attacking right now. Just make this very simple. And that's exactly what Garry Kasparov did. We're not moving the bishop one more time. Garry Kasparov found another easier variation to go down. Bishop h7, discover check. Well, no, I don't know about bishop h7. I don't know about that move. Because after king takes on f7, I don't know. Yep, Eli, you are correct. Just take the free rook, guys. Come on. Everybody said bishop h5, but there's a free rook on a8 that we can just capture. Like, come on, get with it. Hey, keep the energy high. Come on, let's get to it. So after rook takes on a8, bishop to e7, we got rook to b8. And then after rook to b8, we got a5. What move happened here? Bishop to e4, king takes on f7, taking our knight. Then what's next? This last move made the opponent resign. This last move made the opponent resign. I'm looking at the chat right now. What are we doing here? If you use Garry Kasparov, how can you just finish this position? I mean, we're literally up like 2 rooks. I got a test tomorrow, H1. I got to go to sleep. Good night. Thank you, Metello. I appreciate it. Underrated. Rook f3 check. Not rook f3 check. Rook g6. B rook We'll go to F8. Wow, that is interesting. Yep, that's F8. Mark, you are, wait a minute. Nope, Mark, you are not correct. The bishop cannot go to E5. Julius, you are correct. Bishop takes on D5, and then the opponent resigned because after knight captures on D5, rook captures on B2, and yeah, this game is just over. The only advantage that black had was that pawn being able to promote someday, but yeah, two rooks against two minor pieces is not fair at all. So that's why Garry Kasparov is the GOAT, and Anatoly Karpov just got whooped in these two games. And the same opening too, surprisingly enough. Do y'all have any questions about these? About these games? And everybody that is here right now, I do have a free Discord that you can join in the description down below that you can connect with other chess players and +2, increase your chess rating. All right, improve your chess skills with other people. We're almost at 1,000 members in that Discord, so I would join right now at this present moment while you still can. Clay, how you doing? Wait a minute, we got a message that was deleted? Oh my goodness. Come on, man. Keep the chat clean. Attack the bishop. By the way, do you save your live streams? Yeah, I save all my live streams, so you can just look at them afterwards. I save all my live streams. You can just look at them. Just go to the section. Appreciate you and your book recommendations earlier. We'll be back. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll be streaming every single day. I'll be streaming every single day. Probably tomorrow it would have to be around like, I don't know, 10:30, 10 o'clock, but we'll see. Appreciate what's up, man. Hey, Basu, how you doing? You got my catchy openings against D4. I don't know if I got that. Did we talk about that? What we got here? Well, the live stream is ending right now, so I'm just answering questions, man. Sorry about that. You'll be able to see the live stream earlier. Make sure that everybody like the video and comment on the video too, so that we can get the engagement up, man. And that's how everybody can see your good answers. Has any GMs done an en passant checkmate? Yeah, I think it happened recently against Magnus Carlsen. It's ending, man. I just got here. I know. Just look at the stream earlier. We just had fun. We just went over some good games by Garry Kasparov. See you later, H1. I'm going to bed because I have a Spanish presentation tomorrow. Thank you. Yeah, don't even mention. Hey, come on, Clay. You're the bro. You're the homie. But anyway, hey, thank you for being here. I appreciate every single one of you, and make sure that you keep your eyes on the road and stay healthy and peace. Until next time, probably after my TikTok live stream, I can play some chess again on YouTube. Let's get to it. There's a great video about a game where Kasparov goes through all his lines. Yeah, that would be pretty good. I am going to try to get to 900 ELO. Wish me luck. All right. Well, man, I believe in you. I don't have to wish you luck. I already know that you're going to get to it. Okay. See y'all later.